I'm bored. Let's do a wellness check on Melonie Mac. We haven't talked about Melonie Mac in a while. And I thought, hey, I want to get one of my videos restricted. So let's go ahead and check on Melonie Mac. And so I was not disappointed. Her timeline is wild. It is wild. There's a bunch of people dragging her right now. To be quite honest, I actually think Melonie Mac has lost a big chunk of her supporters. Like, I'm not talking about specifically her supporters, like the ones on Twitter and social media or whatever, but I mean like connections she had in the Chud space. I think she's lost a lot of them. I'm not seeing her really on anybody's shows anymore. I think the last person she did a collab with was the Quartering, and I don't even know if they still do shows together anymore. But I haven't seen it in a while. But she's really, like, she is gone, like, for real. So she's talking about this Sydney Sweeney ad. I thought I'd just throw my hat in the ring and talk a little bit about my thoughts on this whole Sydney Sweeney thing, because people keep asking me my opinion on it. I did talk about it on the showcast, but we'll talk about it here. So when I saw the outrage for Sydney Sweeney, it was literally just conservative people saying that liberals were mad. That was my first introduction into the outrage, because I had not seen, no lie, one liberal person in my circle complaining about this Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ad, which, by the way, it's American Eagle. Who still wears, like, is American Eagle still a brand that people wear? People still care about American Eagle? Like, for real? Okay. Anyway, like, I didn't know. I don't really shop at the malls anymore, so I don't know if people still, I think it's just basically exclusively a mall brand, or maybe they've got an online presence. I don't know. Anyway, so she did this ad with her wearing their denim and saying like she's got good jeans. And yeah, it's a fucking stupid ad. It's dumb. It's dumb. And it's definitely like, it was a choice to use that play on words. But I ultimately think the ad would have vanished into oblivion. And so in order for this ad to spread, we had a lot of bad faith right-wing activists saying like the left hates this ad. And then it became like this thing. That's my thoughts on what happened, because I don't think anybody really gave a shit about that ad. I know I didn't. I didn't really care. I'm like, okay, it's a fucking dumb dog whistly ad. The biggest damage comes from the people that were amplifying it, not the ad itself. Anyway, I digress. Melonie Mac had some choice words for Sydney Sweeney here, and I think it's quite funny. So she says, reminder that Sydney Sweeney takes off her clothes for money and is a glorified prostitute. What? Sydney Sweeney? I don't know a ton about Sydney. I know that she's done a lot of random things over the years. I don't ever remember her doing this, though. Is there something she did with it? Let me look this up and see if Sydney Sweeney has done anything even remotely close to this. Okay, so I just double checked, and yeah, it looks like in Euphoria she has done some scenes with like clothing being removed and stuff like that. But that's a character in a show. She's acting, and I guess in Melonie Mac's mind, that means that she's a woman of the night. Like somehow that makes her a glorified prostitute. I don't know how you reach that conclusion. Like, you can disagree with her doing that in movies and TV shows, but I think it's a pretty big leap to calling her that. And look, I'm not trying to defend Sydney Sweeney in this way, because like I've heard that she's a registered Republican and that she's in on this American Eagle thing and she knew what it was going to be all along or whatever. I don't know how true that is, but look, I am not running the defense for her. There's more to this, so let's continue. Just because she makes liberals mad doesn't mean we should be propping her up as a conservative icon. So where have you been, Melonie? Where have you been? Didn't Sydney Sweeney get propped up like this on Saturday Night Live? Wasn't that a big deal? Like when she was there and the low cut top and everything? Like, I don't know if you necessarily had a negative opinion of her then, but I do remember that was a pretty big deal, and that a lot of conservatives were like shouting at the top of their lungs about how that was making liberals lose their minds and things like that. This whole thing is so strange because like you guys want the world to believe that we're the ones that want women covered up, that we don't want women out there showing off their bodies, even if they want to. And this is where a lot of that disconnect comes from. A lot of people on the left support things like sex workers. Like we support that. We support women showing their body off in any way they want to, as long as they're the ones doing it because they choose to do it and not because people have pressured them into doing it or objectifying them that way. Like, that is what we believe. That's what we believe. So we've never been this group of people that want to uglify women or have women cover up in video games and make them less sexy. That's never been the standard on our side. And you were part of a community that claimed that that was for us, that was on us, that we're the ones that did that. You were part of that group. And now you are in that group with all of those guys. Like, you're still in that community, even if they don't want to talk to you, you're still in that community with all of those guys that say that about us, but you're the one now who is doing that. You are literally doing the thing that the community you aligned yourself with says that we were doing. You're doing the thing. Like, this is on you. How is it that in less than a 3-year span of time, you flip-flopped on whether or not women should be sexy and attractive in media? How did that happen? Oh, it's because you never actually hold your positions. It's almost like I've been saying this about you all along. It's almost like a lot of the critics of you have been saying this all along. You are very inconsistent, Melonie Mac. Like, less than a decade ago, you were hyping up and supporting gay people and trans people. And then on the flip of a dime, all of a sudden, you started joining the communities that said that all of us are degenerates and that we're doing all this indoctrination, all of this grooming, all these things. You said that about us, right? And that we were uglifying women in media. You made videos making fun of how Lara Croft doesn't look sexy and cute enough in media. That sometimes in Stellar Blade, when the clothing was too much, covering up too much, that was on us, that was on the leftist, liberal, progressive, purple hair people. That's what you said. And here we are, a year and some change out of Stellar Blade, and you are actively now saying that women who look sexy are glorified prostitutes, and they're selling their bodies for money, and that conservatives shouldn't be propping this up. Even when it's a conservative woman. Because again, like I said, Sydney Sweeney, I was about to say Melonie Mac. Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, according to our records. So now you can't even be a conservative woman showing off your body without a portion of this community coming out and saying shit about you for doing it. That's crazy. It's almost like it was all projection to begin with. You know what I mean? It's almost like it was all projection, that all of this was just for naught. And the sad thing is that there's still people that follow Melonie Mac that have now decided to just, like a lazy river, just float along with it, go along with it, because Melonie Mac said so. This goes back to my video from yesterday where I talked about content creators and this parasocial relationship with their viewers, where they turn them into role models and they start taking everything they say at face value and then basically eating and gobbling it up, and it becomes part of their identity. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. She's getting roasted, though. In the quote tweets, she is getting heavily roasted. Matter of fact, let's take a look at a couple of them before I let you guys go. Pablo here says, just as a reminder, this woman is almost 40 and acts like a teenager while posting photos of her in her underwear to promote puritanism somehow. So basically all I'm hearing is a hag complaining because. God, you're stupid. If Sydney Sweeney is a prostitute, what the fuck does that make you? You're nothing but an ethot with a Christian griff who soft sells sex to Arsler. Not cool. Let's be without sex appeal. You're just an obnoxious, born-again moron who nobody would watch, listen to, or respect. Let's do one more before we head out. Alex, the horny demon here says, you dress just as much or a little less clothing than Sydney Sweeney, so fuck off with your rules for thee and not for me shit, you hypocrite. Fuck you and your religious dogma and censorship. Woke right at its finest. So now we have the woke right. That's a new one. Is that a real thing? The woke right? The woke right? Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Yeah, we don't have much else to talk about. I'm pretty sure this video is going to get restricted because YouTube hates anybody talking about Melonie Mac for some reason. Maybe I should take a hint. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch up with everyone later.